Let's look at the distinction between employment and self-employment according to case law. Case law, we said you look at cases that happened in the past to judge the present cases. Yeah, so we are going to look at the distinction between an employee and then self-employment. Yeah, so the first one is that an employee is required to provide personal service. Yeah, an employee is required to provide personal service to the employer. Yeah, under employment, there is always a minimum obligation for the employee to give personal service, and the employer is to pay the person for the service, and the employer must provide the work for the duration of the contract. So, an employee, when you're an employee, you must provide personal service to your employer, and your employer must pay you for for the services that you've provided. Yeah, but someone who is self-employed, if you're self-employed, you do not have to provide personal service to anyone else. You service yourself. Everything you do is for yourself. Or other you can pay other people to do it for you. You can pay the employees to do it for you. Then the second difference is that an employee must be subject to a certain degree of control by the employer. If you're an employee, you must be controlled. You work under the terms and conditions of the employer, which is not the same case with self-employment. If you're self-employed, you work under your own terms and conditions. Yeah, you can go to work at any time, you can decide not to go, in like you do anything you want. Then another difference is that a self-employed person generally provides whatever equipment is needed to do the job. If you're self-employed, everything is up to you. You're the one to come up with the money, the equipment, the everything of the business. But if you're an employee, you just have to chill and relax, and everything will find you at your table. Yeah, you do not have to look for capital. If you're an employee, you don't have to look for machines that will operate. Yeah. Another difference is that self-employed people risk their own money. If you're self-employed, you have to risk your money and put it in business. Starting up a business is a risk because you will either get back your money or you will not get it back. So it is a risk itself. So if you're self-employed, you have to risk your money to start that business and to do other things in the business, like to stock. But if you're an employee, you have to risk nothing. The only thing that you offer is your time and service. Another difference is that employees are paid a fixed amount per month without trigger to profits. Yeah, if you're an employee, if they tell you you are receiving 1 million per month, even when you make profits of 1 billion, they will not increase your salary. It is fixed per month. Yeah, it does not change, but if you're self-employed, the money that you get changes according to the profits that you make. If you make too much profits, you will earn too much, of course. If you make less, you earn less. Yeah, so for the self-employed person, the money that they receive is not fixed, but for the employees, they will receive a fixed amount. Then another difference is that the length of a particular engagement usually determines the employment status. The time that you take at a particular job also determines whether you're an employee or self-employed. If you work at a particular job for 30 years, you're an employee. But if you if you keep working on short-term contracts, for example, you work for 1 week here or 1 month, then you work for another one, you're regarded as self-employed. Then where a person is part of the organization is considered an employee. If you're part of an organization, if you're in some organization, you're an employee. Yeah, then the presence in a contract of benefits. For if a contract has benefits like car parking, food, accommodation, things like that, you're an employee. The last difference is a right to terminate an engagement for a reason other than serious breach is an indicator of employment. If they can terminate you, they can chase you from work out of the blue. They just wake up and they feel like they don't want you. They no longer want you, even without you doing anything. It is regarded as employment. You're an employee. But if you're not someone's employee, the only way they can terminate the contract is when you breached the contract. You fail to act according to the terms and conditions of the contract. But an employee, you can actually follow all the terms and conditions, and they get pissed for you following the terms and conditions. You're being too nice. They terminate you for being too nice. So if they can terminate you at any time, you're an employee. Yeah, that has been the distinction.